Hello, Padawans. I've got something coming up, so I'm going to try and get this out quickly. Okay, so last week I went 12 and 3, and I am now 114, 52 and 1. I am leading everyone at ESPN and everyone at CBS. And nobody seems to notice, but gonna keep doing it because can't get viewers if you don't post videos. So those of you who are watching, please like and subscribe. It's really hard to restart a channel. I had almost 10,000 viewers on TikTok and got shadow banned, and then I had just over 1,000 on the reset and got shadow banned. Keep in mind, last year I went 195, 77, and 202 and 81, including the playoffs, and I picked the Eagles to upset the Chiefs by 7 in the Super Bowl. I know what I'm doing. I've got a lifelong experience with the with football in general, a strong working knowledge of how it, just the mechanics of the game. And I learned from some great individuals. I learned from Matt Elisara, who played with the Broncos and Raiders. And I learned from Coach Mike Kramer, who was the head coach of the Eastern Washington University Eagles, my alma mater. And they respected me, and I learned a lot from them because you can't help but respect guys that are willing to share knowledge and know what the hell they're doing. Speaking of knowing what the hell they're doing, Drew Petzing is not on that list. This is the fix for the Arizona Cardinals. It isn't trading Kyler Murray. It's firing Drew Petzing, which I've been calling for since week 4 of last year. He cannot coach an offense. And then we need to use some high draft picks on the offensive line next year to protect our players. That's why we're so banged up. When the offensive line breaks down, that causes injuries. When one offensive lineman is hurt or inferior, that gets people around him hurt. When you lose 2, 3 offensive linemen and you're playing with backups, that means people are going to get hurt. They aren't moving where they're supposed to be moving. The hold disappears. They fall on people. That's the aforementioned mechanics. Anyway, it's exhausting. We need an offensive tackle, right tackle. We need a left guard and a right guard. And then Hernandez can go back to being one of the best backups in the NFL. But I'm not in charge. Anyway, sorry. Had to rant about that. It's frustrating, and everybody in Arizona is furious over just the destruction of this team that looked so promising a year ago. All right. So, again, I'm 114, 52, and 1. I am now ahead, like I said, I'm ahead of everyone on ESPN and CBS. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into the picks. So, for those of you who are new, I do Thursday night on Wednesday night. And then I'm going to do the rest on Friday after I get to look at the injury report. It has actually helped me improve a few games over the past few weeks because I changed some based on the injury report. Buffalo at Houston, I am definitely taking Buffalo. Even if CJ Stroud is back, Buffalo's a better team. They've been struggling, but they've been winning. So I'll go with the struggling but winning over the struggling but losing any day. And then for those of you who don't know yet, I do leaning and taking. And I just want to give you a heads up on what my feelings are before the weekend games start, instead of forcing you to wait until Friday if you're trying to do parlays. So I've got leaning Indiana over Kansas City. I've got taking Seattle over Tennessee. That's a no-brainer. Which means Tennessee's probably going to win by 20, right? That's just kind of the way it works sometimes. But I'm definitely taking Seattle. We've got Green Bay leaning over Minnesota. That's probably going to be a given. We've got Baltimore at home over the Jets. That's a definite one. We've got Detroit at home over the Giants, another definite one. We've got leaning Chicago over Pittsburgh. That's a hard one. I don't know which way I'm going to go on that. Probably going to be based on the injury report and what the critical injuries are. New England at Cincinnati. I'm leaning New England. Um, but I did consider Cincinnati. There's just that missing je ne sais quoi about the New England Patriots. They're kicking ass, but they've also beaten a lot of really crappy teams. So there's just that lack of surety. Cleveland at the Raiders. Toilet Bowl in Vegas. Yay. I'm going to go the Raiders at home. Jacksonville at Arizona. Jacksonville. It's so painful to be a Cardinals fan, my friends. Philadelphia at Dallas. Philadelphia taking. Sorry. Atlanta at New Orleans. I accidentally had Arizona playing twice, which would have been 2 losses, even if they got to start fresh. I had New Orleans in the first place, but that was when I thought they were playing Arizona. I'm leaning Atlanta right now, but it's going to come down to the injury report. Tampa Bay at the Rams. Leaning Rams, probably going to be Rams. They've been playing great. Carolina at San Francisco. Definitely taking San Francisco at home. For points, I have 24-17, 41 total points. I only do points for Monday night for tiebreakers and such. I never do spread because spread is a sucker's bet. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. Set a budget. My budget's pretty minimal right now. I was disabled by COVID, and I don't waste money on gambling that I can't afford to lose. Did win a couple this week, so that was nice. I've been pretty unlucky at getting that one team that should blow the other team out, and they don't. Like Buffalo at Tennessee. Tennessee wins and lose 3 parlays. Yay. I need to do a better job myself of not including the same sure win. I have to do it with one hand because this doesn't look like ellipses. Or quotation marks, sorry. Other than that, just be safe out there. Those of you who don't know, I lost a really good friend who was a brother to me just a few weeks ago, and it's still surreal. I can't believe he's gone. So take every day and just grab it by the horns and make sure you enjoy life, but be safe when you do. His was a tragic accident caused by his aggressive adrenaline rush, and I miss him dearly. Anyway, take care, have a wonderful night, and have a great weekend.